Welcome, Jose, to your Deluxe astrological natal chart report. Right off the bat, I just want to honor you incredibly because you gave me full permission to upload this on YouTube. If I quote you, okay, you said, I give you full liberty to title and post this however you want for the knowledge of the fam. So if y'all are watching this on YouTube, show Jose some love. We already know he's about it because by the look of things, he is a true angel. Okay. Gemini sun, Gemini moon. Okay. So I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun interpreting this. And I just kind of want to correlate, how true we are. We don't hide nothing. We put it all out there because, we are who we say we are. We're the truth. Okay. Other than that, yes, thank you so much for ordering this report. I'm going to go in like I do best. And right off the bat, your chart is already something to behold. I hope you're enjoying your Jupiter return. Who would have ever thought it would happen during the apocalypse? Anyway, other than that, the first thing that I would like to illustrate is that you're born in 96. So being born in 1996 is pivotal for one reason. A few reasons, but you have Pluto in Sagittarius, something that is even more a huge deal for mutable signs, especially Gemini. And you also have Uranus in Aquarius. So I like to believe, as a North Node in Aquarius, my destiny, it links me to the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in Aquarius generation. And y'all are who I do this for. Let me just be honest. I'm so very fascinated by your generation. And a part of me hates to say this because I'm not even that much older than you, bro. I'm just like 6 years older. So like we're both 90s babies or 90s kids. But like, it's just something about, and this is something that everyone in the 90s knows. Like you have the late 80s, and then you have the 90s, and then there's 95 and beyond. And it's weird. Like everyone born 90s looks different at the late 90s. Almost some of us don't even claim y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. Like some people in the 90s are like, yeah, everything up until 94, and then the rest, I don't know about them. I don't really know about them. But like, I'm a vouch for y'all. Okay, don't even worry about it. Y'all are cool. Okay, y'all are a bit wilder than us, but y'all are the reason why supernatural ability, okay, cosmic space travel, and channeling aliens will be normalized by the public. Yes, y'all are going to make normal the art form of channeling extraterrestrial alien frequencies. As if it's another language or as if it's as normal as breathing. Something that's very relevant to you because as a Gemini, you tap directly into this aqua energy and your destiny's in Libra. So yes, I'm very, very, very much so looking forward to this. In fact, you and I have a composite South Node in Gemini. So as angels, as you and I both being angels, we knew each other before. Not surprising. Other than that, yes. I'm definitely, before we start the reading once again, I just want to illustrate, like, you being born 96 is a huge deal. Like, any of y'all that have Pluto and Sag, Uranus and Aqua, you won. You just have to make it to 30. But you won, okay? Like, you carry in your DNA a sense of yourself that transcends, or rather, ascends out of the conventional model of human living. It's a fancy way of saying you're not normal and you're not human at all. I would say the only thing human about you is your Virgo rising, which gives you the personality of a master, because Virgo is the master. But other than that, it definitely, really speaks of, at a special level, okay, your ability to actually, tap into a cosmic version of yourself. And the reason why this is important is because this starts with your generation. Our generation taps into it, but not fully. So like, it's literally everyone born 95 and after 95. Y'all are the ones that can literally just turn Sailor Moon and tap into your cosmic self. Everyone else born before you, what we brought to humanity is the normalization of supernatural psychic ability. Y'all take that to the next level, and you bring this into supernatural cosmic ability, bearing claircognizance and clairvoyance, in that you can actually see the energy patterns that connect humanity to the stars. And everything that I say should sound like science fiction, because you're going to bridge that science fiction into nonfiction. And it's controversial as it sounds, I promise you. And this has a lot to do with Saturn and Aries, which you're going to have your return with Neptune. Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. If the world isn't like a nuclear holocaust by then, I can't wait. And I don't think it will, but you never know. You actually never know. But other than that, actually, you do know. That's another characteristic of your generation. Y'all know. Y'all are literally tapped into this omniscient source of universal, and I know this is vague as hell to say, energies that give you a general sense of knowing. I like to say you're in the know, because knowing is a state that is ever changing, because what you know 1 second is not what you know the next second. So it is impossible to know it all, because you're always knowing. Something that as a Gemini you represent very amazingly, which we're going to get into. Shout out to Gemini Brown, Nalo. He is also a Virgo rising, 10th house Gemini sun. I deeply respect. And, really cool cat to get to know. But other than that, this is a huge deal. Once again, if you think of Pluto as a transformative quality, y'all literally have a cosmic self that you may unlock during your Saturn return at 30. This cosmic self is like a God mode of sorts that allows you to take your physical vessel, ascend into light, and travel through space, whether through astral projection or, supernatural space exploration. And thankfully, a lot of you harness this ability as children. So, compared to the Pluto Aqua generation born after 2024 that are literally going to be baby geniuses, y'all are paving the way for them. Okay, which is awesome. You paved the way for the sextile. So Pluto Virgo paved the way for Pluto Scorpio. Pluto Libra paved the way for Pluto Sag. Pluto Scorpio is paving the way for Pluto Cap, and Pluto Sag is paving the way for Pluto Aqua. Okay. And Pluto Cap is born from 2008 to 2024. The reason why this is so very important is because I'm going to reference Pluto in Sag, Uranus in Aqua, and Saturn in Aries as the mechanism with which you're able to perform literal miracles. And as a Gemini, and we might as well say as a true Gemini, okay, you're a true angel. You harness this all with the word, bruh. The magic of the word. Like, if you say so, it is so. And so it is. Okay. It's Pluto in Sagittarius with all your Gemini receptivity. And that's one thing I appreciate about Gemini suns. Like, we see the magic of words, like synchronicities involving words, like, and especially Gemini moon being able to like hear, because everything inanimate or animate has a soul energy. And so as long as it has a soul, you can hear it. You can hear it speak to you. You can communicate with it. And so like you can talk to a wall, and like people will think you're crazy, but think about that. The wall that is in front of you is not just matter. It's condensed energy. And so that energy has a soul. If you think about Bleach and Fullbring, there's a soul inhabiting anything. Obviously, souls of animate objects and not inanimate objects are more lively, but this is one of your superpowers. Okay. But outside of that, Pluto in Sagittarius with all your Gemini receptivity. And that's one thing I appreciate about Gemini suns. Like, we see the magic of words, like, and especially Gemini moon being able to like hear, because everything inanimate or animate has a soul energy. And so as long as it has a soul, you can hear it. You can hear it speak to you. You can communicate with it. And so like people will think you're crazy, but think about that. The wall that is in front of you is not just matter. It's condensed energy. And so that energy has a soul. If you think about Bleach and Fullbring, there's a soul inhabiting anything. Obviously, souls of animate objects and not inanimate objects are more lively, but this is one of your superpowers. Okay. But outside of that, this is very, very, very important because you also have, just like 97 and 98, Neptune at the master degrees of Capricorn. Neptune in Capricorn is the shit. Neptune in Capricorn. First of all, Neptune in Aquarius is even more ridiculous. It's just like instant intuition. The Neptune in Capricorn allows our body to process intuitively so that we can actually real time load it. But you having this at the mastered level at Cap is a heightened sense of intuition that allows you to judge the nature of someone's character near instantly. And you have to trust it because it's on point. And so something exclusive in 96 is Jupiter here that actually adds its expansive quality. Jupiter's at fall in Capricorn, but I don't consider falls or I consider exaltations, and I also consider dignities, but I don't consider falls or I don't consider detriments unless it's Sun in Libra, and I can make fun of Libra. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like the Jupiter's in its fall, but that doesn't mean that you have a bad Jupiter. This actually works out perfectly because it buffers your Saturn, so that Saturn doesn't be this tyrant on your south node. Jupiter can put it in check. So, and also it's going to make you a lot of money, bro. But yeah, being that you have this, well, let's just say Poseidon and Zeus. Poseidon and Zeus are chilling in Capricorn. And Zeus evolves your ability to physiologically utilize, Capricorn, your intuition, Neptune. And you want to think of Neptune as a broadband Wi-Fi connector to God consciousness that other people can tap into, like Virgos, Capricorns, Tauruses directly, to basically just be more psychic, be more intuitive before they act like it was their own power that made them more intuitive and not give you any credit. In fact, just as a Gemini in general, just be prepared, bro, for people to not give you credit for the magic you provide just being there. And you want to know why? Can you see the air? No. I saw this fascinating video with Neil Ticey deGrasse. And I mean, regardless of whether people like him or not, he knows his shit. I mean, I don't agree a lot with what he feels about astrology, but I still respect him as someone who knows his shit. And like, he spoke about nothingness and how, you know, we can look at something as nothing, but it's not really nothing because there's still particles and there's still subatomic, you know, phenomena that is a part of it. And that really encapsulates the principle of air perfectly. Because you can see fire. It registers as heat. And you can see it. It's spiritual. It pertains to spirit. You can see water. We drink it. Oxygen, H2O. Oxygen, two oxygen molecules, two hydrogen molecules, and oxygen. And you can also see Earth. I mean, that's a given. But can you see air, bro? I mean, you can see tornado. A tornado is the air whooping up dust and other such, you know, particles. But can you see air? I mean, you can see air, right? But no, you can't. And we may think that we're in a space of nothingness around us because we're so preoccupied to look at things materially when, you know, air is here. And that is air signs. This is why Aquarius says things and it just goes over so many people's heads. Okay. I want you to embrace this principle, my friend. Can you see the air? No. With your naked eye, you can't. And so people can't see us, bro. We're John Cena, son! You can't see me! You can't see me! My bad, I got too excited. But yes. So keep that in mind. Like, think Geminis are some of the most controversial magicians ever because Virgo employs real magic. Sagittarius, you see their magic. That's their whole gig. Like, they have high level magic that they show you. And Pisces has this either illusion or divine magic that changes everything. But Gemini is the one zodiac sign that does magic in front of your face every day. And no one sees it because it's the magic of language. And we know that language controls the way you create reality. That's all Gemini, baby. That's all Gemini. Like, Geminis do spells in front of people all the time with their words, and people don't really consider it as anything because language is so normal. So I'm just letting you know, fam, like, that's how amazingly magical you are off the jump. You can do spells in front of people and they won't even see it unless they're Sagittarius. This is why, let me tell you a story. This is why Sagittarius is our opposite sign, because we were getting away with everything. And then Sag is like, I see you, right? I see what you're doing, right? I see you, right? And so they put us in check. You know what I'm saying? Virgo analyzes it. Virgo may not see it, but Virgo is so smart. Like, they're able to see the cause and effect. So they're like, I didn't see what you do, Gemini, but you did something, factually speaking. And then Pisces knows, but they don't say shit, because I guess they have a no snitching policy, or they're just escaping in another reality. Anyway, other than that, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they don't have to see because they understand anyway. But other than that, you being born 96 definitely taps you in to a direct connection to the universe. I want to do a documentary on your generation. I swear to God. Like, Uranus in Aquarius is one of the most fascinating aspects to me. I know as 90s kids, when Uranus and Neptune went in Aquarius, cartoons went from pretty funny to just super weird. Super weird. Woke as fuck, but super weird for no reason. And I really want to study that generation, because a lot of predictions that happened then, a lot of Simpsons episodes are coming true now, and we know Aquarius is the future and time travel. But other than that, it's not exclusively time travel, but it has everything to do with it. So once again, I'm kind of setting everything up just to see all the contributing factors that augment all your angelic Gemini energy. And yes, it's angelic. What's very amazing about the Jupiter conjunction to Neptune, even though it's past the 10-degree orb, you want to think of Neptune as the intuitive ability and Jupiter as your evolution ability in the 5th house, denoting that you have incredible intuitive talents. And you're gifted, very much so. You're very practical in your ability to utilize your mind and your spirit. And so you want to think of Capricorn as a king-kungsing effort to guide and direct the wild and free nature of your ideas, because air is the element that represents freedom. I used to think that was fire because I saw Sagittarius as freedom, but I actually learned that Saturn is liberation and freedom. Well, Saturn's liberation, but air is the principle of freedom elementally, okay, that allows, thoughts to roam freely and, say what you think. Outside of that, though, once again, a lot of what really inspires much of this generation's legendary quality is also how you're going to raise us out of stupidity. It's a lot of your generation that's going to promote geniusness. The opposite of this is like just obscene ignorance because of the Pluto Sag. But once y'all come of age, like every single one of you are going to be humanitarian leaders to just guide us out of these dark ages that we thought ended before, but surprisingly has continued to last for no real reason. Other than that, though, let's get to your Gemini. Okay, we see you have Sun in Gemini, Venus in Gemini. You're enjoying that Venus return. You got MC in Gemini. So you're literally here to change the world with you and the way the world thinks and sees truth with you. You're the public figure who's going to do this. You're going to actually lead by example. Just actually show us, hey guys, this is how you do it. You have your Moon in Gemini. So you're literally privy to all the gossip around you and others in the world. And you have Mars and Mercury in Gemini. So I have 29-degree Mercury in Taurus. This is why I'm just such a gifted communicator and I can enunciate and I have a rich, deep voice. You have this in Gemini. This allows you to speak really quick, and while you're speaking really quick, you can process things that are happening at the same time, and it's like you have dual core processors in your mind. It's like you can talk about someone and also think about what you had for breakfast and what you're going to do. It's amazing! It's a magic mind! And yes, it's 0 degrees, but because it's opposite Pluto and Sagittarius, this now first of all, it's very stressful. Second of all, it definitely allows you to take your mental ability to process information at a rapid rate and filter what is true, and then extend that forth in the deepest way with Pluto, so that it's almost as if you have third eye vision, and everything that you think in your mind, you actually also see visually. This is very, very important because the Pluto and Sagittarius generation represents the passing of the baton from Taurus to Gemini. In that, if we think of this as a shit stick, or if we think of this as perhaps something that if we look at, once again, the significance of Pluto's effect, okay, and borrowing on the 70s Aries who had Pluto in Libra, and I mean late 70s, 80s, and then late 80s, 90s Tauruses, that had Pluto in Scorpio, and then late 90s, 2000s Geminis like yourself that have Pluto in Sag. Congratulations. You, what this makes you is hated for no reason. You can just say the truth, and people who would rather make shit up will just hate you because, God forbid, you said the truth and not a lie. Yeah, be very careful because this does make you a target. This is something every Gemini with Pluto and Sag has to face. And you're just going to be extremely hated for no reason. In fact, if you're not extremely hated, people are just going to be obsessed with you. And this is not your fault at all. This is just definitely more so an influence that really uses your energy to trigger irrational, but really evil as hell, vibes within people. We call it irrational because it's politically correct, but really just evil as hell. They're just evil as hell. And it triggers that, and it gets people to, if they have integrity and they're pure, they'll really, really, really love you. If not, they're going to really hate you. And once again, an amazing example of this is Chris Brown. Chris Brown's fans either love him or they're going to bring up some stuff that makes them hate him. And that's not to say that he isn't wrong for that. But I promise you, if it was anyone else than Chris Brown, if he didn't have Pluto opposite it, people would have long since forgot it. But they're always going to bring that up. They're fixed on it because he's in a fixed sign. Right. So that's just the effect of that Pluto. And I love using Chris Brown as an example because people hate Chris Brown. As talented as he is, it's people just need a reason to hate this dude. And it's not necessarily, once again, specific to just Chris. It's really any Taurus that has Pluto and Scorpio, and they go through it the deepest. I'm going to just be honest. Okay. So this is very, 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 very important, especially when you really think about a whole lot of the nature of you being an angel and this war against evil. Pluto here is going to allow you to exert X-ray vision in your relationships with other people that really powerfully bring up a very, 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 you know, clear understanding of how people react to the truth you express and are. Okay. You definitely, come into a lot of responsibility being a 10th house sun. I can relate as a first house sun. Whenever your sun is in an angular house, this really sharpens the nature of your personality and really brings up a more bold presence that in your case you exert fully out into the world. So as a Virgo rising, you very much so are the public figure of truth. And this lends me back to you being in a position to not only express and be a messenger to the world for truth, but also, brings me back to what I was saying about you changing the world. Because when your MC is in a mutable sign, you change the world. And not only do you change the world, you actually apply, that's just if you have MC, because you're actually there, you're hands-on in this process. Okay. And this definitely, speaks of your ability to broadcast messages out into the world so that people cannot be stupid and believe in lies. Unfortunately, this isn't going to change. This isn't going to change a whole lot. Of how, people may twist the truth you speak, but a lot of people will see you as a light of truth. So one individual who has his North Node in Gemini is the Leo King. And he's definitely someone who fulfills his destiny. Someone who fulfills his destiny by, expressing a whole lot of controversial truths to the world. Okay. I just kind of want to emphasize you are more this public figure 10th house energy. And that doesn't even mean, it's great for employment too. If 10th house is career and legacy, anything that deals with journalism, broadcasting, you and I are both third decan Jeckins. You and I are both Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Third decan Geminis, which is subruled by Uranus, the electricity, and you have Uranus in Aquarius subruled by Uranus, and you also have your North Node in Libra subruled by Uranus. So you're a master of electricity. But this can also be a career in electrical engineering, communications. I'm getting my bachelor's in communications. It could also apply to any multimedia career, even nursing. Like, it could apply to anything. Let's say you were a nurse, you would be the nurse who everyone talks to because they get you're like the plug for the trophy. Okay. But I just really want to emphasize how you fully embody the exalted nature of truth with the personality of the master that analyzes everything you say so it's aligned with facts. And this is very important because, for example, when Gemini Brown is a teacher, all right, he teaches children. The 9th house of teaching is next to the 10th. So that's his identity as a public teacher. He expresses the truth to the world in this responsible position. He's also a published author. So book writing is also going to be a really great career for you. Anything that utilizes truth, which is infinite in quality, you're really meant to be out there. This does not mean that you have to be extroverted, because Gemini is inherently an individual sign. So people come to us anyway. But this is very, very important, as this is definitely going to illustrate a whole lot, even though we love social life because we love Libra and that's social, and your destiny's there, so your destiny is social. But this definitely speaks of your willingness and ability to also reflect the current state of the times, which is the lesson of any artist. Mutable signs reflect and mirror the truth of what is, whether people accept it or not. So your vessel and moon is a vessel of your ability to use your words as your weapon, Mars and Gemini, your ability to charm using your words and write beautiful poetry, Venus and Gemini, your ability to process information at lightning speeds with depth of clarity, Pluto opposite with Mercury and Gemini, and of course the spirit of truth, which is the sword. Okay. I feel like I have this in the 2nd house, so I feel like it's more tangible. Like the expression of Gemini for me is a sword, because it's not really who I am as much as what I have as a Taurus rising. I really feel like Gemini is more who you are as a public figure. This is you are your higher self. So a Gemini spirit here is the angelic spirit and soul that allows you to assist the world and do battle on behalf of the world. You're going to be a very powerful, magical being as you come into your Saturn return, and as you already are right now. So being that you got the deluxe report, let's now go into the houses for anyone who gets the deluxe report, because you bout it, and you didn't just get 30 minutes. You got an hour and you hooked your boy up. I'm going to hook you up. Okay, so we know that the ruler of your whole chart is Mercury. And already having so much Gemini energy, that's not a coincidence. That's on purpose. So like, you not only have Mercury ruling your chart, we see that Mercury is in the 9th/10th house in Gemini. And so a whole lot of how you identify yourself is based on what you process about you around the world. How you process your experience being out, and this doesn't mean that you're extroverted and you're out there, but the way you present yourself has you pick up a lot on your own experience, cause and effect relationship with the world around you. Because we want to remember, 7th house is relationships with other people, 4th house is your private life in your home, and the 10th house is your public life, denoting career. You're going to have haters, but they only hate you because they ain't you, and because they ain't shit. That's think about it. Why would anyone else hate the truth? And now let me see, a lot of people kind of come for Gemini because they have some bad experiences with Gemini, even though anytime a Gemini does anything out of integrity, it's when they're not being themselves. They're not being true. So I can vouch for the true nature of Gemini. I haven't met a single Gemini that hasn't really ever not been true unless they weren't being themselves. But other energies took over. Okay. But the thing is, once again, we can see based off of the authority of your Saturn, you have authority over authenticity. And the way Saturn works is you can't not be authentic because you'll get penalties for it. It's attached to your South Node. This is a South Nodal lesson. You're coming in to teach other people about trust and yourself. And so that lets me know that you're bout it. You're not the type of person that's going to tell little white lies. In fact, you have Pluto opposite this. So I can tell you're somewhat hated because you tell the whole truth. Yeah, like you tell that person, no, you look fat in that dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Little white lies. You are literally the truth, bro. Like I'm trying to let you know. So the ruler of your whole chart is in your 10th house. It's in, ninth, 10th house, Gemini. And so the analytical nature of Virgo takes this very magical Mercury in Gemini, and it allows you to analyze your experience based on what that makes you. The ruler of your second house, Venus, is in your 10th house in Gemini. Okay. And this is what allows you, quite accordingly, to manifest relationships. Second house Libra is manifesting through networks, like second house Aquarius, but you manifest powerful relationships with people. Ironically, this is your destiny. You're here to build an empire of relationships, and like anyone in the industry, music industry, movie industry, any industry knows that in order to make it, it's about the relationships you develop. It's not about the money you have. It's about who you know. Money is just one of the steps. And this is what you're here to do. You're a relationship builder. People build relationships with you to add to the value of your persona and as a public figure of truth, because you connect people to other people in truth. And this is what allows you to also heal with Chiron here opposite Saturn, your ability to really express your natural talent that draws on the raw expression of Aries. And so seeing that Venus here, the cool thing about Venus, even whether it's retrograde or not in the 10th house, is that if I were to hire someone, or if I were to look at a whole group of people, it's people who have their MC and fire that stick out because they shine. Or if you have Venus on your MC, I'm going to naturally be drawn to you. You're going to charm more. You're going to look more charming to me because that's your public persona. And so this attracts people for you to, bam, come to the second house, build relationships. The ruler of your third house, anciently in Mars, ties back to Gemini. But let's say it's Pluto. It's in Sagittarius. What does that oppose? Boom, Gemini, baby. And so the ruler of your third house is in your third house. But because it's ruled by the fourth, in that Sagittarius is the fourth house and Pluto is in Sagittarius, this is what's going to make your rare, pure attitude dig deeper into a private understanding of the meaning of events around you that allow you to unravel things and see conspiracies in almost anything. Not conspiracy theories, but actual conspiracies. In fact, let me talk about MC and Gemini. And I love this about Virgo rising. Shout out to Starry Ari. She's one of my favorite people ever. And one thing that she confirmed to me before I even heard this, I used to tell people, yeah, when you have MC and Sag, when you have MC and Gemini, you're here, like you're not even meant to work a job. Anytime you work a job, you expose the management. Like if you ever work a job, bro, the only reason why you're there is because you're meant to expose the truth of upper management, and it will never, no job you ever enter will ever be the same without you. But a lot of people with MCs and mutable signs are like, how come I can't keep a job? No, it's not that you can't keep a job. You're not meant to stay in a job that long, because once you expose that truth, on to the next. And then you do the same thing. Now, there are going to be other supporting factors that determine whether you can keep that job for long. But normally there's so many people who need your truth. You got to keep moving on and on and on. And this also applies to living spaces, because your fourth house is not in a stable sign. It's in Sagittarius. It's ever changing. So you might be always moving. If you find that's the case, that's not a bad thing, because you need to shine light in your private space and keep it moving. And being that you are the boss, you are the 10th house figure, this is going to allow you to open up self-employment at a younger age, especially now that Neptune is in Capricorn, to really innovate spirituality and business. So outside of that, or rather transcend. So outside of that, the ruler of your fourth house is on your fifth house cusp. Using the equal sign system, which I verified with Christopher Witecki and Iwana Sakovic, another angel. Iwana is an amazing amazing individual. We used to trade astrology and angel readings, and I was so skeptical at first when I first got on this journey. I was like, man, I don't believe in angels. How ironic. An angel didn't believe in angels. This is before I knew I was an angel. And so like she was also a Gemini, and like she initiated me on the she was actually very instrumental to me becoming the peace dealer, because I had already made the peace dealer channel, but you know the story about how I don't know if you know that story about how my uncle gave me an ultimatum of I had to either choose to do astrology or basically, you know, drop out of school and leave his house. Well, the reason why that happened was because I did a reading with Iwana, the angel reader, and she had told me, yeah, I'm initiating you under the power of these angels. Be very careful because this can change your whole life. You never know what might happen. And in my head, I was like, yeah, okay. Little did I know. Little did I know. So this is the same woman that confirmed with Chris Witecki that equal sign system is the truth. No Placidus, no Koch. It's still going to be accurate, but equal signs. And so to see Jupiter on your 5th house cusp means that you're very talented. You're very gifted. Anytime, and this also relates with a more, you know, when you're around children, you're more proper and controlled. That doesn't mean you're not fun, but you take it seriously because you know the potential of children. And so this also speaks to your own inner child's ability to express talent and organize in incredible ways. So the ruler of your 4th house is on your 5th, which makes your private life one that allows you to practice your talents. Very fun, organized in a certain way, and also giving you the ability to develop a lot of value. Now, the thing here is, I believe with Jupiter and Capricorn, it takes 30 years to come into the benefits of it. I think the first 30 years you might experience the fall position, but I really think it's an incredible Jupiter position. I think anything in Capricorn is incredible though, so I'm biased. But other than that, we do see that the ruler of your 5th house is in your 7th. It's an 8th house Saturn in the 7th house. So close enough to the 8th that we can count it as an 8th house. And this squares Jupiter here. So the ruler of your 5th, all right, and the way you express your talent, if 3rd house is your skills and 5th and attitude and 5th house is your talent, okay, and how you fully express your personality, the ruler being in the 7th, 8th house is going to influence greatly your talent with the trust issues that allow you to really enforce more seriousness with other people. And so you take your talent very serious and you really seek to engage with people who take it just as serious. Yeah, we have the Capricorn element, but Saturn here on the south node is going to be like someone who subpoenas people. Like, oh, you thought you can escape your past life karma. Well, here, bitch, I'm here in this lifetime. Boom. But you don't just have the south node. You have Chiron in the north. So unlike other people with Saturn in the south, you're not really mean with it. You're like, hey, you got to deal with this past life shit, but don't worry, I'm going to help you heal through it with the Chiron in the north node. And Aries and Libra to me is like Hitch. It's like someone that like takes your raw natural talent and it polishes it through Libra. And this is what you do to people's self-esteem. Now, please keep in mind, your north node, your Chiron is close to the 2nd house. I have Chiron in the 2nd house in Cancer. So I have to really heal emotional wounds that don't necessarily allow me to be the most confident because I can feel insecure and feel like I'm not ever good enough. This isn't going to be what you feel. This is going to be more mental. And sometimes you can think that your Virgo rising can make you a bit too perfectionist. And sometimes you can think you're not good enough, even though you're smashing it. You're killing it, bro. You're killing it. So keep that in mind because Chiron is also a key that unlocks the destiny of you and others so that others can build more problem-solving, relationship-building skills. Let's keep it moving. The ruler of your 6th house as a Virgo rising is very important because the house of Virgo is the 6th. And so the 6th in Aquarius denotes your ability to live an advanced lifestyle. Because of the analyzation ability of your Virgo rising to be able to efficiently and competently live your life, well, your 6th house is advanced. And the ruler of that is in the 6th. It's in the 5th, but it's ruled by the 6th. And so this is another affinity. When the ruler of a house is in that sign, this definitely speaks to you being able to curate highly advanced lifestyles Once Pluto awakens this post 2023 into 2024 and 2025, you're going to be super genius with this shit. You will have acclimated to your NZT pills that you probably won't need to take anymore. Or we'll see, this is different because you have all this Gemini energy, so you were born with angelic awareness, which is NZT. If you think about the movie Limitless, people take NZT to have the awareness of Geminis. It's angelic awareness. But other than that, it's kind of like a glimpse of angelic awareness. But I hope you sense the pretentiousness in my voice when I said that too. But other than that, this is very, 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 very interesting. Just due to the fact that a whole lot of how you personally, connect with this sixth house energy makes your lifestyle fully unconventional. And so you're going to think out the box when it comes to work, because sixth house is a house of work. And the jobs and the work you do isn't meant to be normal or conventional. And it's definitely going to be something that's out of this world. Remember, if the second house is how you make money, you and I are both earth risings. So think about the money you paid me. Second house is how I make. Second house is my own possessions. It's money. And I had to get that through eighth house. Your trust in me. Okay. So you paid me money, second house. And because you paid me money, all right, that money that you paid me was for what? So that I can Gemini you. Everything that I'm doing now is Gemini. I'm communicating the truth to you. Second house Gemini as a Taurus rising. This is how I make my living. And I do it in work with the sixth house Libra one-on-one. You see how we're having a one-on-one type of thing. So you have this at a higher level. You're a Virgo rising. And the way you make money is Libra. Why is this important? Well, this Libra ability, to make money like so, manifests itself in partnerships that allow you effectively and accordingly to have a workspace of Aquarius where you deal with multiple people or one-on-one. It's not just limited. Also, with Earth in this, it also favors writing, because fixed air is words on paper. You're trapping it on paper. You're taking your diffuse thoughts and you're putting on paper. Fixed. So this is what is going to make the quality of the jobs you work having to be unconventional. If it's normal, like your spirit guides, which represent these planets, will be like, fuck that. No, screw that. We didn't incarnate so you can work a normal job. So keep that in mind. Or you can have the most boring job ever, but the way you're going to work it is going to make it fun. It's going to make it, you're going to do that same job everyone else does in such an unconventional way. It's not even recognizable from what other people are doing. Okay, so if we also take into account, the ruler of your seventh house, we see it's in the fifth. And so a lot of your relationships that sponsor divine Pisces partnership, seventh house, is influenced by your inner child and your ability to intuitively express your talents, channeled or unchanneled, into your relationships with others. This can actually, you know what I'm saying, denote a certain sense of your willingness and ability to add a touch of romance in your relationships with others. That's very practical and organized. Also, the ruler of your eighth is in Gemini. The ruler of your ninth is in Gemini. The ruler of your 10th is in Gemini. The ruler of your 11th is in Gemini. The ruler of your 12th is in Gemini. So majority of your energies go back to Gemini. And I just wanted to illustrate that from 8th house to the rest. An 8th house, 9th house, 10th house, 11th house, 12th house denotes everything that has to do with other people. It's in the 10th house. So you're definitely someone who can bring the world to you individually, or you take your individual self and you are able to reflect back a whole lot of your dealings with other people. And this is where a lot of that focal point finds its place accordingly in your natural expression out towards the world. I think you might be someone who creates a broadband network of authentic news delivery, because I think Gemini also rules news communication and broadband. Someone who's in fire is Tucker Carlson, who's a Taurus, but he's progressed into Gemini, and he's no nonsense. He's not trying to fucking fluff anything. He's just fed up with the lies, telling the truth, which is like almost every Gemini right now. So not the ones who lie, okay? Jesse Smollett. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? This definitely speaks a whole lot. In fact, we don't even claim Jesse. He's a Cancer. He's a Cancer. And give us 50 Cent. We're trading Jesse for Cancer. We're trading Jesse for 50 Cent. Okay, this is not for debate. Other than that, though, it's very, 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 very okay. Interesting in that there's a magical quality to Gemini. And this has much to do with, you know what I'm saying? Your willingness and ability to just speak into reality what is. And that brings me back to the beginning of the reading. A lot of people don't attribute Gemini's being magic because we think it's just communication, even though that's literally one of the most magical things. Like as a communications major, nothing is possible without communication, verbal, nonverbal. Like even computers communicate with each other because you have input output signals. So like everything constitutes the creation of reality through the word. It was through the word everything was created. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Gemini, word, logos. Okay, if we think of God as the creator Sagittarius energy, so the original partner of God, Sagittarius, was Gemini. I'm just joking. The angelic divine word. And yeah, brother, I thank you so much for your service to us. You're a huge deal. And don't let anyone else make you think otherwise. A lot of this grand air trine gives you a triplicity of air. Yeah, the North Node and Chiron aren't personal planets, but they do count. And it speaks of your ability of what to say in Gemini, personalizing it to who in Libra, and having that source of knowledge so that everything you say is unconventional, controversial, and just out of this world. Because Uranus seeks to revolutionize and innovate everything that it's a part of, even if it has to be the bad guy. Okay, Uranus is a former god of the skies, and hasn't really lost that rank at all as a primordial protogenoi. So other than that, seeing that Uranus trines your moon, seeing that it trines your Mars, it's going to automatically and instinctually align your actions that make you receptive to truth with an instant claircognizant knowledge. I really see Uranus as a channeling entity in this vein. And Pluto and Sag will allow you to actually see what it is you know. And so the Libra energy is what's going to personalize that. The unconventional quality of Uranus here will have people project on you that you're delusional, even though you're a fucking genius. But, you know, let such bottom feeders and lesser beings think what they want. And I'm not really joking. If you think about the hierarchy of air is above everything. So when I say lesser beings, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just being factual. I'm telling the truth. And then see, that's the thing that can get you hated. If you think Pluto in Sag is a very passionate energy, it's not the smartest. And so, you know, certain things that you say, people can take the wrong way because they get in their feelings. Oh, well, that's not your fault, and that's not your problem. Other than that, what's very important to really embrace here, accordingly, more than ever, I would say, very much so, is your willingness to not only reflect what's true, but also stand for it. And this is really, 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 really going to influence quite primarily an ability to not only read minds, because this does grant you telepathy, to where you not only are receptive, but you can literally see people's thoughts. It's amazing. But it also has you finish people's sentences and really just be this representative of truth magic. Okay, the truth as it stands. Know that the truth is ever changing. It's objective. It's not subjective. I know people think the truth is subjective, which is said objectively, which is hilarious. But it is ever changing. What's true now isn't necessarily always true. Although you do have some eternal truths that are always true. You will always be that nigga. You will always be that dude. You will always be the truth. Examples like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, other than that, this definitely illustrates the chart of a warrior of truth who isn't afraid to stand up and represent a whole lot of this. Okay. And once again, nothing but honor to you, bro. Thank you so much for, even the fact that you saw clearly the purpose that I have to post these videos is for knowledge. It's for science. This is the greatest example of case study. For everyone that allows me to post their chart on YouTube, you are further advancing the study of astrology here. I know a lot of people think I do this on accident. No, these are on purpose. And, I really do honor each and every one. It's not necessary that you do. If you want it private, you can, no problem. But for those of you who don't mind it publicly, I really honor you, bro. Like you dead ass just said right now, for you give full liberty, and post this however I want for the knowledge of the fam. Okay, which I really do see as this 4-degree Uranus and Aqua. Like you are someone who pushes forward knowledge for the people, which is definitely very, very amazing. Okay. So, outside of that, you'll definitely find that on this journey, this definitely really, really, really opens up a highly influential understanding of how realistically you've been able to not just reflect truth, but also, be in a position to evoke and make the world aware. Because of you, there are going to be certain truths accepted by society around you that really allow people to communicate more authentic to who they are. And this brings us back once again to Saturn that's in Aries on the South Node. Saturn and Aries have a very original sense of work ethic and authenticity and authority of authenticity that definitely allows you great power. It allows you firepower. It even makes you a firebender of some sorts. And this brings us to the fact that you are a true airbender. You do have Jupiter in Cap, that's Earth. You do have Saturn and Aries with Pluto and Sag, so you might need to brush up on firebending. And you don't have water, so you're just cold-hearted and emotionless. You're like a robot. I'm just joking. You may have actually progressed. You've progressed into Cancer, so you're mastering water bending right now. You're en route to fully becoming Avatar if you're not already there. Like once your sun progresses past 20 degrees Cancer, you've mastered water bending. So, very, very, very amazing. This this is definitely very, very cool, because a lot of how you personally connect to the universe as you use your spirit as a conduit reflects the greater truth to anyone you're with and out to the world. And you should definitely be honored for that. All power to you, bruh. And I really do hope and wish you're able to utilize this energy and potential you have to the fullest. You stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace.